A late-night confrontation ends in gunfire. 2 policemen shot, along with the man officers were questioning.
It was just a tragedy out here.
Prayers went up for Officer Alexander Thalman, who was seriously injured.
Well, it's hard to see any law enforcement officer trying to do their job to be viciously attacked for no cause.
Today, we learned Officer Thalman has passed away. As New Bern police mourn, the community mourns with them. News Channel 12 at 6 starts now.
Welcome to News Channel 6. I'm Brian North in for West Goforth.
And I'm Valentina Wilson. It is a somber day for the New Bern Police Department. Officer Alexander Thalman, who was shot in the line of duty, died today. The police chief says Officer Thalman died at 1 o'clock this afternoon at a Greenville hospital.
And we're told Thalman was shot while on duty Friday night. Police identified the shooter as Brian Stallings, who was shot and killed by officers at that scene at Craven Terrace. Chief Toussaint Summers Jr. announced that Officer Thalman was surrounded by family when he died about 1 this afternoon at Biden Hospital in Greenville. We have team coverage on this event. We've been covering since late Friday night. News Channel 12's Jamie Hicks is outside the New Bern Police Department with reaction from city officials. But first, let's head to Juliana Valencia, who's at the Biden Medical Center in Greenville. She was at that news conference this afternoon when Chief Toussaint Summers Jr. released the news. Juliana?
Brian, I've been on this story since it happened late Friday night. Saturday, I gave you updates as the police chief stood vigil over his injured officer. Earlier this afternoon, we heard from the police chief again, but this time the news wasn't good.
It is with deepest sympathy that I announce that New Bern police officer Alexander Thalman passed away just after 1 p.m. today.
22-year-old Alexander Thalman did not die without the support of his loved ones.
His family by his side.
Chief Toussaint Summers says this has been a very tough time for the officer's family and the police department.
We have received an outpouring of support from law enforcement agencies all over the area, all across the state, and across state lines.
Thalman was only able to serve the New Bern Police Department for less than 7 months, but the chief says he leaves behind a legacy.
His dedication and service to the community was evident from the very beginning.
The chief says Thalman did not die in vain. His work to continue to serve the community will live on.
He leaves behind not just co-workers and friends, but a brotherhood of officers who remain committed to serving the community.
I spoke with a woman who works with Thalman's mother earlier today. She says that one of Thalman and his mother's last happy moments together was laughing over breakfast Friday morning. Reporting in Greenville, Juliana Valencia for News Channel 12.
Okay, Juliana. Officer Thalman, the first New Bern police officer to be killed in the line of duty that we know of, and the first to be killed since Detective Donald Miller, who was off duty. It's a story we covered in 2001. According to OfficerDownMemorialPage.org, Detective Miller was shot and killed while off duty in Wilmington in 2001. It happened 2 days before Christmas. He and his wife were visiting their newborn baby in the hospital when he confronted a man in the parking lot who then shot him. That man was alleged to be upset about his mother losing her leg to amputation and was planning to shoot several people in the hospital. Detective Don Miller died Christmas Day 2001. The killer sentenced to life in prison.
We've been following this story since the weekend, and our team coverage continues in Craven County. News Channel 12's Jamie Hicks is live at the New Bern Police Department.
She's been talking with New Bern city officials about the loss of Officer Thalman and about what happened Friday night. Jamie?
Brian, I'm here at the New Bern Police Department. You can see behind me the flags are half-staff as the department remembers one of their own, Officer Thalman. It's been a tough day for the New Bern community, and right now I'm with Mayor Dana Outlaw. And I know just moments ago you and Alderman Victor Taylor were laying flowers in front of the department. With a day like this and this tragedy happening, what do you have to say about it?
Again, our condolences to the family. New Bern's truly lost one of its finest. The blue light bulbs are coming out on the front porches and the flowers are starting to arrive. And we're going to kind of hold our heads high and continue what we know Officer Thalman would want us to do. We want to, again, wait for the families, their respects and requests as to what they would like the city to do. We would like to do a memorial for him. Again, the Board of Aldermen, they have met, and we just await the family's wishes as to how we can get through this together.
I know this is, a tragic time for the family, the department, everyone in the community. And New Bern, it's a close-knit community. Something like this hasn't happened in a long time.
Sometimes you don't know how close a community is until this happens. I don't begin again to tell you the sorrow. His complete shift has been over there all day. Most of the city hall has been over there all day. I've kind of been down there kind of manning the shop while we do what we do when something like this happens.
And this is certainly a time when the community will come together, stronger than ever for the family, for the department, everyone.
Yes.
And I know Chief Summers says, although Thalman was just at the department for 7 months, he says he will forever be a part of their brotherhood. For now, reporting live in Craven County, Jamie Hex, News Channel 12.
It's a tough time for many in the city, and it's a story we will continue to cover in the coming days. So for a complete look at that statement from Chief Summers, just head to our website, WCTI12.com.
Still a lot of emotions in that story, and we'll continue to follow it. Well, today kicks off a nice week of spring-like weather. The rain from the weekend cleared up, and now finally we are getting to experience some of the warmer temperatures we would expect this time of year. Chief Meteorologist Skip Waters tracking it all on the Storm Track 12 Weather Center.
Well, after a rough week, a rough month of weather in March, the month goes out somewhat like a lamb, with sunshine, blue skies across the region, and comfortable temperature readings. No rain on the radar, none anticipated during the middle of the week. These showers to our west are moving eastward, but they'll strain most of the moisture out when they cross the mountains tomorrow. That'll leave some clouds blowing across the sun, but no active weather. The blizzard in the northern plains goes north. This will be our next weather maker, arriving here in the east sometime late Friday night, Saturday morning. But this evening, as you're headed out, you'll need a jacket by 11, but earlier than that, temps will still be in the 50s. A little 1% full new moon, a little crescent up there until 8:41. The sun actually sets at 7:29. Should be a nice night. Here's the blue sky seen from the North Carolina estuarium cam. That's in Washington and Beaufort County. We should all see blue skies until the sun sets, and then clear starlit conditions for much of this chilly Monday night.
Pitt County deputies looking for two 18-year-old students who are on the run after allegedly attempting to commit 3 armed robberies. 2 others have been arrested. Now, the 2 18-year-olds who have evaded capture so far considered armed and dangerous. News Channel 12's Michael Hennessy talked with one of the victims who says he was pistol whipped multiple times. Michael is in our Greenville newsroom with more.
All of the attempted armed robberies happened Sunday night within a half mile and just minutes of each other. 2 of the suspects were captured quickly, but the other 2, one of whom was a high school student, are still on the run.
He was just thinking that it was going to be his last time, that they were going to shoot him.
Cain Palacios Estrada thought Sunday night was going to be his last. That's what he told us, with his brother-in-law translating. He says he was sitting in his car on Billy Loop after a small family party.
He never thought that 4 black guys were going to come and assault him.
Estrada says the man demanded money, but when he said he didn't have any, they used a pistol to split his head.
Aiming with the gun in his head and 3 hits in the head with a gun.
According to reports, about 8 minutes after the suspects allegedly pistol whipped Estrada, they traveled about a half mile here to Dusty Lane and tried breaking into the trailer. That's right behind me.
There was 4 guys came in, they knocked on the door, and then my sister's boyfriend tried to open the door, and they tried to force it open.
Hernandez says they didn't get in. Officials say they tried breaking into another home on Dusty Lane. Deputies were right around the corner on Billy Loop, so they were able to find the car they were in. All of the men ran. Christopher Hall was caught quickly. Another one of them, Darius Hemphill, was tracked down by a canine. All this while Hernandez's sister and nephew hid in fear.
She was scared. They took her back there in the room. My nephew couldn't sleep at night. He thought they were going to come back.
Deputies say the other 2 suspects got away. One is 18-year-old Deshaun Person, a student at North Pitt High School. The other is Fabian Jackson, also 18, and a student at Pitt Community College. They're both considered armed and dangerous. I also learned that there was another attempted armed robbery on Dusty Lane just days prior to Sunday nights. Investigators are working to determine if the 4 suspects are connected to that one as well. Reporting in the Greenville newsroom, I'm Michael Hennessy for News Channel 12.
And anyone with information on Person or Jackson's whereabouts are encouraged to contact the Pitt County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers.
A story we're following in Lenore County. The Sheriff's Department is investigating a suspected meth lab in Pink Hill. Narcotics detectives responded to the scene this morning after they received a tip from a person in the area. They found 2 suspected labs on a Pink Hill property. This is a photo of the home here. One suspect is in custody, but that person's name has not been released.
Also in Lenore County, a month-long investigation into illegal prescription narcotics sales leads to the arrest of 2 suspects. Mary Talley and Christine McLawhorn, both of Grifton, were arrested as part of the investigation. Talley is charged with manufacturing methamphetamine and maintaining a dwelling for controlled substances. McLawhorn charged with drug trafficking. A man wanted on an attempted murder charge in Jacksonville was caught following a high-speed chase west of Wilmington. Jacksonville police say 60-year-old George Evans shot a former family member Saturday night at the Olive Garden on Western Boulevard. Investigators say he stole a car and drove off. He allegedly led police on a high-speed chase in Columbus County. According to our affiliate, WWAY, the chase ended when Evans got out of the car. Police say he was carrying a weapon. Officers shot him. Evans is now in a hospital. New Bern police searching for a suspect wanted in connection to a bank robbery. It happened around 1:30 this afternoon at the First Citizens Bank located on Broad Street. Officials say the suspect did not have a gun, but requested money, and it was given to him. He then fled on foot towards Pollock Street. The suspect is described as a male, 5'7" tall, wearing a light red baseball cap with a letter S on it. Anyone with information is encouraged to call the New Bern Police Department.
Well, today is the last day to sign up for health care under the Affordable Care Act, and another technical glitch came up today. We'll tell you how officials are handling it as the clock ticks down.
And tensions rising along the North and South Korea border, with the 2 countries firing hundreds of shells into the sea. We have the latest on the tensions coming up on World News Tonight with Diane Sawyer.
Well, this is the Emerald Isle Islander Suites webcam showing you the crystal clear blue sky at Emerald Isle. Tomorrow, a lot of sunshine, but there'll be some mid and high level clouds coming through. Does that mean they're bringing rain our way for the midweek? I'll tell you in your forecast next on News Channel 12 at 6.
Alerting you to severe weather danger in eastern Carolina. This is Storm Track 12 Chief Meteorologist Skip Waters.
The skies are crystal clear and blue, so there's no rain for us to track on Storm Track 12 Live Doppler. There are some rain showers in Missouri, Illinois, down into Arkansas, soon to be in western Tennessee. Most of this moisture will get strained out by the mountains to our west, but there will be clouds, mid and high level clouds that survive this, that cross our sunny skies tomorrow. So you'll start off mostly sunny, then kind of a mix of sun and clouds through the midday, and then clear back out again late in the day. This is a blizzard. There'll be places that see a foot of snow out of it across northern Minnesota and the Dakotas. This will be our next weather maker, coming in late Friday night or Saturday with another chance of rain showers, but no rain tonight. That's a blue sky over Greenville. That's the high definition webcam that sits atop the Hilton on Greenville Boulevard. Now, with clear skies and the winds, which are rather brisk right now, tapering off, you'll still be pleasant at 62 in Greenville with clear skies, but look at this. By the time we get to 11, the wind drops off. We start cooling. We'll be down to 48, and then start your Tuesday morning off with a few high clouds around and temps in the upper 30s and low 40s. Cooler readings outside of town, warmer readings in. Now, we do have an extremely high level of pollen, mainly maple, oak, and poplar tree. 10.5 concentration out of 12. That's about as high as you're going to see it. But other than that, no major weather threats for the next 72 hours and a pretty nice week of weather. In fact, many spots got to 70, 72 today for a high, still at 70. Tomorrow we'll add a little of that, and by the middle of the week we'll be up to 80. But this evening we've got a steady northwest breeze at 8 to 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 miles an hour, still gusting to 20. That'll drop off shortly after sunset, and as the mountains strain the moisture out of the clouds coming through, we'll stay clear and cold tonight, upper 30s and low 40s, and then some of these mid and high level clouds back to the west will transit the sunny skies across eastern North Carolina tomorrow. So it won't be as much of a pure blue sky, but still plenty of sun. Tonight, clear, stays that way through the overnight. Tuesday morning rolls around and we push you, well, we get you out the door, whether you're going to school or work, with clear skies, chilly temperature readings. As we move through the middle of the day, you're going to notice the mid and high level clouds coming through, and this model tries to spit a sprinkle or two out. I don't think there's going to be enough moisture to do that. And then watch this, late afternoon, we clear it back out again. So it'll be clear tomorrow night, lots of stars, a little crescent of the moon. And then we get you out the door on Wednesday with beautiful weather, sunshine up close to 80 degrees. Should be clear Wednesday night. Into Thursday we go, you'll notice there'll be some clouds clouds crossing the sun, but no rain. It'll be close to 80 on Thursday, too. Clears out Thursday night. Friday, we look at, again, a mix of sun and clouds becoming mostly sunny for the afternoon. Your next chance of rain, though, comes late Friday as this system comes in with thickening clouds. Those showers could be as late as early Saturday morning and then gone by the middle of the day. Upper 30s, low 40s tonight, the cooler readings inland. Warmer near the coast. A little crescent moon up until 8:41, then lots of stars. A little patchy ground fog near bodies of standing water. Low 60s at the beach, mid 70s on the mainland. Plenty of sun, but there are going to be clouds up there too tomorrow, especially in the middle of the day, kind of thickening up at times, making it mostly cloudy, and then the sun pops back out. 80 for 3 days during the week. A chance of showers late Friday, early Saturday, followed by cooler air, but not cold. Tonight will be the last chilly night, and then a week of pretty decent weather.
And you're not going to feel guilty about cashing the paycheck this week after what you've been through the last couple of months, are you?
I never feel guilty.
Well, we're happy now, Skip. That's all that matters.
Well, the new Seafood Festival poster unveiled this weekend. Check it out. Hey, deserve applause for that. This year's Seafood Festival will be October 3rd through the 5th in Morehead City. And we've got the Ferris wheel, the bridge, the Cape Fear Lighthouse, and that big old dolphin that looks like. Am I correct on that one, Skip?
I think so.
I think that's a dolphin, yeah.
I was going to ask because I'm like, that is not a blue marlin.
Mahi,
right?
mahi.
Tasty fish. We always find that at the festival.
Or was it a mermaid?
No, no mermaid for you, Skip. Well, coming up, the inspirational story of a local boy who has cerebral palsy, how he was able to walk on his own.
And when you see news happen, let us know. You can call us at 800-738-6840. You can email us at news@WCTI12.com. You can go to our Facebook page and join on the discussions of all the stories we have listed there, or you can follow us on the Twitter. You're watching News Channel 12 at 6.
Thanks for watching News Channel 12 at 11. I'm Valentina Wilson.
And I'm Brian North, and for West Go Forth at News Channel 12 at 6, too. We'll get to 11 later.
Oh, yeah. Well, 6 o'clock, 11. What gives?
It's all the same sometimes.
Americans have until midnight tonight to sign up for health insurance under the Affordable Care Act or face a financial penalty. There's been a surge of traffic to the site and to walk-in help centers, but a new technical problem briefly prevented last-minute users from signing up today. The White House says through March 27th, more than 6 million Americans signed up for health care through federal and state marketplaces.
If I had stood up before you in November and told you that we would be above 6 million on March 31st, you would have laughed me out of the room.
Those who are in the enrollment process today by phone, online, or in person will have a grace period to finish their enrollment.
New at 11, here's what stories we're working on for our late edition. We're continuing our team coverage remembering Officer Alexander Thalman. Today, Chief Toussaint Summers Jr. announced Thalman passed away. We'll take a look at how he's being honored. He's a former Washington High School graduate who played soccer. He was also in the military reserves, and we're hearing some people's personal accounts of their interaction with Officer Thalman. That plus your local headlines at 11. This past weekend, more than 1,000 people got together to run the Great Glow Run in New Bern. The boy who gave the opening speech, 6-year-old Wesley Roebuck, who does have cerebral palsy. Teachers at his school, Trent Park Elementary, say just a few months ago, Wesley was very dependent on his walker, but on Saturday, he walked more than a mile on that race unassisted. He was there to watch over Skype was his father, Staff Sergeant Robert Roebuck, who's currently deployed with the 31st MEU. Families say they were incredibly proud of Wesley's accomplishment.
He walked way, way, way more than we expected. Pretty much the primary part of it, all by himself without holding anyone's hand. Hey, man, you do it? You walk some?
That's why they call it the Glow Run right there. Wesley was able to give out the awards at the end of the race. All the proceeds from the Glow Run go to Easter Seals. That's a nonprofit program that benefits people with disabilities.
Oh, Wesley looking very cute there. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
On News Channel 12 at 6. It is opening day for Major League Baseball teams, but the colleges halfway through their season, and ECU starting to heat up during the softer part of their schedule. The Pirates have now won 7 in a row, and freshman infielder Charlie Yorgen is the Conference USA Hitter of the Week. The Richmond, Virginia native batted a team best .538, getting 7 hits and driving in 5, including the game-winning run in Sunday's 2-1 win over UMBC. ECU traveled to Raleigh Wednesday night. A little tougher task to to play NC State, which has been struggling. College basketball, Kansas freshman Andrew Wiggins is entering his name in the NBA draft. Wiggins, whose dad was a former North Lenoir High School star, averaged 17 points and 6 rebounds in his lone season in Lawrence. He is a projected lottery pick and could be the #1 overall pick. Duke freshman Jabari Parker has not announced his decision yet, but he is an Associated Press All-American, along with Creighton's Doug McDermott, who's the first 3-time selection in 29 years. Russ Smith and Sean Kilpatrick part of that list, as is Shabazz Napier, whose team is in the Final Four. Women's college basketball, North Carolina in the Elite Eight. The Tar Heels beat South Carolina 65-58 last night. Danielle Butts, the former South Central star, doing her part. Next up, the Heels will take on top seed Stanford tomorrow night. The winner goes to the Final Four in Tennessee. And the opening day of Major League Baseball featured the first instant replay reversal. Atlanta Braves manager Freddie Gonzalez challenging this 6th inning play at Miller Park. Brewer star Ryan Braun, originally called safe. Umpire Greg Gibson. And to eat some crow, the call changed. It took umpires 58 seconds to reverse the call. Braves still lost, though, 9-7. Sorry, Frankie in Maysville. More News Channel 12 at 6 coming right up.
You don't need to worry about any rain in the next 12 hours, and the skies will be clear tonight, but there will be some clouds up there tomorrow, and at times they'll probably thicken up enough to where you may think there could be a sprinkle or two. A little crescent of the moon, 1% new moon up there until 8:41 this evening. Sunset's at 7:29, so you should be able to see it for about an hour. Could see a patch or two of groundfall. Chilly lows, upper 30s inland, low 40s on the rivers and sounds, and mid 40s at the beach. Tomorrow starts with sun, then we'll see those clouds that were making the rain over in Arkansas and Missouri drift across midday, and then it clears out again late afternoon. Low 60s at the beach, mid 70s on the mainland, 80 for several days. Friday will be okay. The rain doesn't come probably until Friday evening, maybe after midnight, and then it should be gone by the middle of the day Saturday. A little bit cooler Saturday, and then sharply cooler early next week, but still close to the seasonal normals.
Time to start loading up on vitamin D.
Because?
Get out there in the sunshine, because it helps fight colds.
Oh, well, I never get them, so.
Wear your sunscreen, though, too, just in case.
Well, thanks for joining us for News Channel 12 at 6. We'll be back at 11. Have a great one.
News Channel 12 at 6 starts right now.
Family and friends gathered today to say their final goodbyes to Officer Alexander Thalman. He was a Marine, a police officer, a son, a brother, and friend. Loved ones celebrated the life he lived and the community he served.
That he was happy performing his duties as a New Bern police officer.
Officer Thalman was 22 years old. He served with the New Bern Police Department for 7 months. He died in the line of duty, but he left his mark on many.
Good evening. I'm Valentina Wilson. Wesco 4th is off today. It's been an emotional day for loved ones of Officer Alexander Thalman. All week, we've brought you team coverage of the events leading up to his funeral today. This evening, that team coverage continues. News Channel 12's Brian North and Jamie Hicks were at Temple Baptist Church today, where the funeral took place. We also have full reports from News Channel 12's Kyle Horan. He's been on the story since it first broke a week ago. We begin with Brian now, live outside the church.
Well, Val, the funeral happened here today at Temple Baptist Church at about 2 o'clock. We arrived here at 11:30, and law enforcement already started showing up at that point, wanting to get here early to get one of the 1,800 seats that were available and also show their respects. A lot of them never knew Alexander Thalman, but they wanted to be there for the rest of their brotherhood in the police department. It was an hour-long funeral, very emotional at times. There was some laughter, there were some tears. All in all, a very beautiful ceremony that took place this afternoon. Jamie Hicks has been here all day with me, and we witnessed this live on News Channel 12 this afternoon. We carried it live, and it certainly did not disappoint for those who wanted to honor his memory.
Yes, Brian, it was a very patriotic day. We saw officers come in all across the country to say a farewell to Officer Thalman. I've been on this story all week, learning more about Officer Thalman and the life he lived serving his community. And today, News Channel 12 is inside at the service as family and friends said a final goodbye.
March the 31st, shortly after 1 p.m., Officer Alexander Thalman completed paying the ultimate sacrifice. On March 31st, shortly after 1 p.m., this country lost a Marine. Our city lost a beloved police officer. There will be an empty seat in the briefing room. But Officer Thalman's legacy still fills the room.
I remember the day that Alex told me that he was going to become a police officer. I knew this is what he wanted to do because one of his best traits was that he cared so much about helping people and making sure that everyone was safe.
Alex had a beautiful smile, and he gave it to everybody he saw.
I love him a lot. I'm gonna miss him. Alex will always be in our memories and hearts, and he will truly be missed but never forgotten.
And I'm proud to say that he was my brother, my friend, and he was my hero.
Brian, I know the moment that I'll never forget today is when his mother laid over the casket and kissed her son for the very last time. It just continued playing in my head. It was just an unbelievable moment that I'll never forget from today.
Some very powerful images from today. For me, it was the caisson, the riderless horse that was behind them. We saw that in that piece there. They then took the casket, put it in a hearse, and it made a processional through downtown New Bern to the police station. Kyle Horan has been covering that angle of it for us all day long. He's back in our studio with more of what he saw in the Colonial Capitol this afternoon. Kyle?
Brian, following the funeral, Officer Thalman's casket made a 4-mile journey through New Bern city streets. Along the way, the people Thalman once served stood by to wish him a final farewell.
I think it's tragic that a young man who's so young and done everything right so far should have his life ended so suddenly and so tragically.
It's very sad, but it's our community. It surely is our community.
One by one, they lined the streets. People leading the way for New Bern Officer Alexander Thalman.
We're setting out flags to support the police officer who died during the shooting.
Nearby the cruiser he used to patrol the streets, some young souls learned the meaning of thankfulness.
I thought it would be something that the girls would remember and appreciate.
A line of American flags for this reservist.
Here it comes.
After hours of waiting, the first glimpse of the caravan, and then silence across New Bern, even as the slain officer nears the end of his journey through the city.
With their recent loss, it's devastating. It's got to be tough on all these people. It's just, don't know what else to say about it. It's just a sad situation. A young man like that loses his life.
A crowd awaits his departure. One final time across the bridge and on to Washington. But as Officer Thalman goes, a final call to attention from the water as we salute a fallen young man one last time.
Well, the procession must have been a good 20 minutes or more from start to finish. Officer Thalman headed to Washington, where he will be laid to rest. Now we're going to shoot it back to News Channel 12's Brian North live in the field. Kyle Horan reporting in the studio.
Okay, Kyle, and that processional then went up Highway 17 to Washington. Very slow pace, so people along the way could salute or pay their respects to Officer Thalman as he headed that way. Amber Roberts is at Oakdale Cemetery in Washington, where the ceremony for the burial taking place right now. She's going to have a full report for us coming up tonight on Fox Eastern Carolina News at 10 and News Channel 12 at 11. Bennett Trinity, been out here at Temple Baptist all day long. Val, going to send it back to you.
All right, Brian, one of the touching images from today was, of course, Officer Thalman's mother leaning over the casket and giving him one last embrace, so to speak. Stacy adopted him, and he came to live in Washington, and that became his home. We also know he was a bit of an athlete, a soccer player at Washington High School, Brian.
Yes, he was. He played for the Pam Pack, and by all accounts, with everybody I talked to, he was a good athlete, a pretty good soccer player. One of his friends who was in the Marine Reserve talked about how good of a runner he was and how hard it was for him to keep up with, and that he got that training from his soccer days with the Pam Pack. And, you know, it's been hard to find people who can say anything negative about him. We've heard that he was a little devilish at times in his childhood, but certainly he had integrity and character, and we've seen that through all the testimonials at the funeral today, and we'll continue to see that as he is laid to rest, but his memory will be honored. They will have a memorial in downtown New Bern for fallen officers, and his will be the third name placed on that. So in that sense, his legacy will live on.
And we can't forget Officer Justin Wester, who was also shot last Friday and survived. Claps went up for him today inside Temple Baptist as we heard the chaplain discuss Wester's contribution that day to trying to save a fellow officer and also trying to take down a suspect.
Yes, and you know, he'll have a brotherhood here. There's so many officers that were here that are retired, who have been captains, who have had to go to these ceremonies before, and sometimes it's tougher for those who survive things like that, who witness it. And so he's getting more support from all those people who came from as far as New York and Chicago and all around the Southeast and really just around this area. So a lot of support for Officer Wester, and he'll probably want it, but this is a tight group, a tight bond, this fraternity of policemen, as we've learned this whole week. And it only gets stronger when they have to go through some adversity like this.
Brian, thank you for your coverage today. And to sum it all up, Chief Summers said, Officer Thalman made our city a safe place to live, work, and visit. In case you missed any of this week's ceremonies honoring Officer Thalman, just head to our website, WCTI12.com. We did enjoy a nice sunny day across the area, but showers move in tomorrow. Meteorologist Jonathan Wendt is in for Skip tonight.
Yeah, good evening, Val. We're just dealing with some of those high mid-level clouds out there this evening, though. Taking a live look here at our Pine Knoll Shores cam, you can just see some of those high mid-level clouds in the background. It is a little breezy out there, and there is a small craft advisory along the coastal regions until tomorrow afternoon. So if you're doing any working on the water tomorrow or just out and about, just be aware of that. You can see here in our satellite and radar, we're just tracking some of those high mid-level clouds kind of skirted on in, and then back towards the west, some thicker clouds are going to be moving on in later on tonight. Even a few light rain showers, but I think mainly after midnight into early tomorrow morning. So if you have any outdoor plans this evening, it's going to be a gorgeous one. Mostly clear skies out there, temperatures into the 80s, dropping down to the 70s by 9 o'clock, and eventually into the upper 60s by 11 o'clock with partly cloudy skies.
Vine Pungo Hospital in Belhaven is staying open. We received that word last Thursday, and residents were overjoyed when we broke the news to them. Today, they have another reason to be happy, thanks to the people who originally planned to shut down the hospital. News Channel 12's Michael Hennessy explains.
Last year, officials with Vidant Health announced that they were closing their Belhaven location, Vidant Pungo, on April 1st.
I think everybody was kind of, devastated, myself included.
Hundreds of people turned out to rally against the decision.
Most of the people that's widespread around here, this is who they depend on.
When they originally announced that they're going to close it, you got to think that we have to go like 30, 40 miles to go to the hospital.
Last week, the NAACP, who threatened to sue on behalf of Belhaven neighbors, announced that they had reached an agreement with Vidant to keep the hospital open.
That saves lives. I mean, granted, it'd only be 3 or 4 a month or a year or whatever, but that's just lives they're saving.
The town said they needed $3 million to keep the hospital running. County commissioners voted to pitch in $2 of the $3 million. Now Vidant is saying if commissioners follow through on their promise, they're going to give the remaining $1 million to the town.
It's an awesome thing that they're doing.
I think that was one of the nicest things that they could ever do.
It means a whole lot. This is a lot of elderly people. We have a lot of young people. We have a lot of people in poverty. And a lot of people don't have transportation to get to Washington.
Beaufort and Hyde County residents who had been speaking out against Vidant officials are now praising them. They feel like their prayers have finally been answered.
God has took a hold of this thing, and now this hospital will remain open through the grace of God.
Vidant will continue to run the hospital through June 30th. In the meantime, they'll be helping the town put together a board, which would then take over hospital operations on July 1st.
We needed the money, and It's coming. Everything is coming into place. All we need is time and everybody to work together, stay together, pray together. Everything's going to be all right.
In Belhaven, Michael Hennessy for News Channel 12.
Biden officials say the hospital will be free of any long-term debt that was paid off in 2011. NAACP officials call the agreement an historic event and an example of how to save rural hospitals across America. You may remember this next story, the gator that attacked and ate an 80-pound husky. We tell you where that gator is now and how it's being used as an educational tool. And it's a last-ditch effort. Tonight on World News, the difficult search to find the missing Malaysia flight before the black boxes stop pinging.
I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Jonathan Went. It was a gorgeous day today, very warm, record-breaking temperatures. I'll show you where, plus a chance of some rain showers for tomorrow, coming up right after the break.
Alerting you to severe weather danger. This is Storm Track 12 meteorologist Jonathan Went.
Alrighty, well, we're ending the week on the very pleasant side. Temperatures have been into the 80s for the past 4 days, at least 15 degrees above normal for today. So your weather headlines this evening, just warm and windy. We are going to be seeing a transitioning period starting tomorrow with a cold front, and then a stronger storm system moves in for Monday and Tuesday to bring us some more rain chances, more widespread rain chances, in fact, and some cooler air. Storm Track 12 live Doppler radar scanning the skies this evening, just showing you quiet conditions, no rain out there yet. Very mild this evening, 84 degrees right now in Kinston. We've dropped down to 81 degrees in New Bern, 73 in Havelock. Notice along the coastal section, 66 degrees in Morehead City, just slightly cooler down there. As we go throughout the day today, though, we've warmed up quite nicely. In fact, some locations breaking some of those records. In fact, Washington broke that. The record was at 85 degrees. Today, highs right around 87 in New Bern. We tied the record at 89. So all in all, it was just a very warm day across the region tonight. It's going to be mild and breezy. We will start to see some of those clouds increasing, but temperatures inland 60 to 64 degrees, along the coast 62 to 66, southwest wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow we'll start off with some clouds and even a few light rain showers, but then by the afternoon we're going to start to see the clearing, temperatures into the low to mid 70s by tomorrow afternoon. Out there tonight you can just see some of those south winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Gusting to 25, and that's making it a little bit treacherous, I guess, for your allergies. Our pollen for tomorrow, count 10 on the high. The maple, oak, and poplar is going to be the main concern. Grass, weeds, and mold, not too much of a concern, but the pollen count will be going down a bit as we head into Sunday and Monday as we get the rain to kind of wash some of this away. So that'll be some good news for you. So again, starting this evening off with just some of those high and mid-level clouds out there, increasing clouds overnight. Notice this model is painting just a few of those light rain showers as that cold front moves over the mountains. It actually just breaks apart and really kind of fizzles out. So we're not really talking about a whole lot of rain early tomorrow morning, but there could be some light rain showers out there. If you have any early plans, might need your umbrellas out there. And then clearing skies by the afternoon hours. Should be a pleasant afternoon. It'll be breezy out of the northwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour, and then early Sunday morning we start to see the clouds increasing once again. It is possible along the coastal sections just south of 70 where we could see some light rain showers, but then they'll be increasing as we head into Sunday night into Monday. More widespread rain showers comes in Monday morning as a coastal low kind of comes on in from the Gulf of Mexico. So over the next several days, you can see there we'll be into the 70s tomorrow, dropping back down to the lower 60s on Sunday, back into the upper 60s, low 70s for Monday and Tuesday. May even see a few rumbles of thunder out there Monday as we get some of that heavier showers to come in. About 1 to 1.5 inch of rain is possible with the system kind of lingering into Wednesday. And then, hey, you know, it'll be a cool Wednesday, I think, of upper 50s to low 60s, but then when we back up to where we should be for this time of year, our average high is right around 70.
You wore the yellow for the pollen, obviously.
Yeah, it's been bugging me over the past several days. I've had to take Benadryl, I've had to take allergy medicines, just highly allergic. But
will the rain help with any of that to wash it away?
It will. It'll wash it away. My car's just covered. It's yellow right now.
Mine is too. I have a black car, so it stays yellow this time of the year. Thank you, Jonathan. It's a story that created quite a buzz. An alligator that attacked an 80-pound husky and ate it. That gator will soon have a new home in a museum. When you see news happen, just let us know. Give us a call, 800-738-6840. Send an email or comment on our Facebook page. This is News Channel 12 at 6. Thanks for watching News Channel 12 at 6. I'm Valentina Wilson. The 12-foot-long alligator that ate the 80-pound husky last summer has returned to Onslow County. As News Channel 12's Allison Parker explains, the stuffed gator is now on display in a museum. The purpose is to show you what kinds of wildlife can be found in eastern Carolina.
Donna Stith stopped in for a sneak peek of the new educational center in Sneed's Ferry Branch Library. But it's what these workers are hiding that sparked her curiosity. So I showed her a picture.
Oh my goodness, he is huge, isn't he? Oh, gracious. He's about the biggest one I've ever seen.
She's looking at a picture of this guy, a 12-foot-long alligator, 540 pounds, about 50 years old.
It's very scary.
But he's not alive.
I know, but just to think about that, he could be under there somewhere, another one like him or his brother or something.
This is the same alligator that ate a military family's 80-pound husky last July. Simba was playing fetch and went to drink some water from a creek near Henderson Drive in Jacksonville when the gator attacked.
The alligator was determined by Wildlife Resources to be a nuisance gator. Had they tried to remove him, he would have come right back to that same spot.
So officials put him down.
The story doesn't stop there.
Museum Representative Lisa Whitman-Grice sent the alligator to Smithfield to be cast and preserved for educational purposes.
It's really interesting to see it come full circle from beginning last July, being pulled out of the water after that incident, and now it's here on display.
The gator is joined by some furry friends: bobcat, beaver, coyote, and bear.
People are surprised to find out we have all these wonderful plants and animals here. So we want to encourage people to get out and explore.
Stith plans to return here for the grand opening to see the beast up close. In Onslow County, Allison Parker, News Channel 12.
And you have to see a gator up close, I guess, but that's the way to do it when it's already no longer active. Well, the grand opening of the Onslow County Environmental Education Center and Library will be from 10 until 3 tomorrow. The center is on 1330 Highway 210 in Sneed's Ferry. Stay with us. We'll be right back. New details on a man shot last night in Pitt County. Ayden police say 22-year-old Kentrell Alston was shot on Pitt Street about 10 o'clock. If you have any information, you're asked to call Ayden Police or Pitt County Crime Stoppers. The Cycle North Carolina Coastal Ride kicks off today in Oriental. Riders are coming from 26 states plus Washington, D.C. and Canada. This is video of the Coastal Ride from 2011 when it was last hosted in Oriental. The event will last through the weekend. Hope you have an appetite because 2 new restaurants are set to come to New Bern. Panera Bread and Chipotle Mexican Grill plan to move into the same shopping center as Books A Million. That's off Dr. MLK Jr. Boulevard in New Bern. And we are reporting this according to the New Bern Sun Journal. There's already a Panera in Morehead City, but the closest Chipotle is in Wilmington. No word yet on when they're expected to open. More to come next. We'll be right back.
All right, we're going to be tracking a few light rain showers mainly after midnight tonight, and then as we head into your early Saturday morning, they'll be clearing on out of here. Temperatures warming up into the lower 70s tomorrow, but big rain chances increase Monday into Tuesday with temperatures dropping back into the upper 50s to low 60s on Wednesday and eventually clearing on out by Friday.
Officer Alexander Thalman is being laid to rest tonight at Oakdale Cemetery in Washington. We will have continuing coverage tonight on Fox Eastern Carolina News at 10 and News Channel 12 at 11.